In this video, I'm going to show you the simple way to start building map art in Minecraft. My name is Slendoid, and without further ado, let's get started by jumping right into our world. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you are going to want to go to the end. Once you are in the end, you're going to want to fly into the void. This is where we are going to be building our map art. So now you're going to want to grab a map, and we are going to find the corner of the map. And this may take some trial and error. Just be patient. It may take a little bit. Once we've found the corner of the map, we are going to start building the border. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the opposite corners of the canvas, and I'm going to fill it in to actually make our canvas. It does not matter which block you choose, but we're going to use redstone lamps as the background. And so once I fill it in, it does not work. It says cannot place blocks outside of the world. Now this is a Bedrock bug, and it has been here for as long as I can remember, unfortunately. So we're going to just have to build our own tool to fill in the area. You could also just do it by hand, but that is not what I want to do. So there is a command line where you put in the command for the command block, and then there is if you want it to repeat when you activate it or not. And so what we're going to want to do is we're actually going to turn on the repeat, and we are going to type in the function. The function is as on screen. The first part is the execute command, and then the @ which is the location of where we want to execute it. Then you can type in your username or just @s for @self. And then you can do the fill command, which essentially places whatever block is in that position that you clarify, which is what we will be doing next. The tilde character, which is on your keyboard, should be under the escape key. In Minecraft, it reads that as your current position or the relative position. Next is the Y coordinate, which is 47. That is the coordinate that I'm building at. And then another tilde. And we could do the same thing again, since this is just one block of space that we are wanting to fill under the player. So if you think of it as if you have a box or a square, the top corner is going to be your first set of 3 coordinates. And then the opposite corner of that is going to be your second set of 3 coordinates. And so this is going to be what makes the space that you fill in. And then after that, you can put in the block ID of what you want to fill the space with. In this case, we're going to be using the redstone lamp. All we'll need to do after is activate it with a lever, which you can set next to or on top of the block. And if you want to set it on top of the block, you just have to crouch and place it there. And once we have that done, we can go ahead and start filling it in. Now that the canvas is complete, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark the directions of where the map art is facing, so I do not build in the wrong direction, like if the map art is upside down, which is really annoying to fix if you place it in an item frame and rotate it. That is obviously not how you want to do it, so we are going to make sure we build it the right way the first time. Now that our canvas is finished, I'm going to be building an example of little pieces or chunks that you can do so you can build your map art. Let's say if you want to build text or whatever, and you don't want it to take as long as it probably would if you're building everything by hand. So as you can see, I've built myself a little grid to start with, and I'm building the letters. And so I'm not going to be building the whole alphabet or any other special characters. This is just an example. So you can go as far as you'd like with this to build your nice little template. Once you have everything in place, you can go ahead and give yourself a structure block. And this may look complicated at first, but we are going to make sure you know how to use it in the simplest way possible. So we are going to set the offset to 0. So the bounding box, which is the box that you see there, is on the same level as where we placed the structure block. Now we can set the offset on the X and Z coordinates to 1. So then the box is actually in the little grid space that we have made. So now the grid space, we are going to go ahead and count the blocks which are in the grid space. I am pretty sure I did 10 by 16. So X is 10 and Z is 16. Now what we are going to do is we are going to save it. And before I do so, actually, I'm going to set the size to 1 so it just gets the text that we have built. You can set it to whatever size you need to, depending on how big your structure is. We're going to check include entities off. And the redstone save mode, you can save to the memory, which is just the in the world. But if you want to save it and load it into another world, you can do save to disk. So what we're going to do is we are going to get the first half of the name, which is just the identifier, and we're going to save it as text : and then the character, which is A. And now what we can do is we can actually start doing this for the other characters. And of course, once you have everything done and it looks all good, you can click the save button. Now we are back with our canvas, and what we're going to do is we are going to change the mode to load, and we are going to type in the name of our structure. Once we have it, you should see that the space is the size of the structure. We're going to set the offset to 0. And now, just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and place the other structure blocks of where I want the other text to go so that it is aligned and there are no ugly gaps. And once we have that done, we can click load, and voila, it is rendered perfectly along with the B. So there's A and there's B. Now you can repeat this process. See, there's A, B. And now what we're actually going to do is I'm going to show you what you want to do if you want to make something a little broken. And there's this integrity box. It is a percentage. And there's also an animation mode box. We're going to skip that for now. But if we set the integrity to 50%, it is going to make the blocks only match the structure that you've built to 50% of it. And so now we can go ahead and do this with the other one. We can set the integrity to 75%. And there you go. It is missing a few blocks, but we can do that without having to break the blocks manually, which may look more like a pattern or not look very natural. And there you go. You can now place the map art in the item frames. And as you can see, the redstone lamps aren't actually making the backgrounds invisible. And this is something only Java can do. If you follow the same process in Java, then it should be transparent. Hopefully you found this tutorial somewhat helpful. If you found this tutorial helpful, or you just enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like. I will be making more tutorials in the future, so subscribe so you do not miss out. And with that, I will see you all in the next one.